Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Leah, and today's video is part of the Blast from the Past playlist, where we use some of our favorite old TV shows or movies to craft. This is hosted by Simply Becky DIY, and the inspiration for my crafting today is the Addams Family. It was a hard toss-up between the Addams Family and the Munsters, but I finally went with them. Now, DIY number 1 is going to be some spooky spell books and potion books. I found these free printables online, and I printed these on cardstock. And I'm going to have to shape them to fit the books, find what books fit well with them. But I didn't like the stark white. They just looked way too new. So I'll be showing you what I do with those in just a minute. But first, I need to paint this blue book. And what am I using? Apple barrel paint, of course, in the color black. I also put some dry brushing around the edges. Yeah, that one end wasn't too dry. But anyway, it just brought out the detail of the pages a little bit better. And I also painted inside on that. I'm going to put some black on the back. Now, I made a strong cup of coffee, going by the directions of what they said to do. Put it in my sink, put the papers in, and then sprinkled some instant coffee over the top. And I let that sit for about 10 minutes, and then it looks like this right before I take it out. And there's what they look like after. They look old and aged now. Now I'm going to crease where the binding is and glue down those covers. What I did was just add a little bit on each end of the binding to hold it into place. Like that. And then I'm going to put some inside the cardstock and then flip it down onto the book. But not yet. Yeah, I didn't think of that to begin with. But it was much easier just to add it to the cardstock and stick it down. And no, these don't fit the books very well, but once they're stacked up, it doesn't really matter. See, it still made a nice stack. And I put a green one to break up the two black colors. I've got them sitting on some paper doilies that I also did coffee staining on. And yeah, I think they look very vintage. This is DIY number 2, and I'm going to be using my glass cake plate and putting a skull in there. That's a Dollar Tree skull that I just put some white spray paint on, because what is up with that weird yellowy gray color that they use? Anyway, I'm going to put Spanish moss around it and then add some fairy lights. First I glued it down so it'd stay into place, and glued down that battery pack for the fairy lights. Battery's up. And now for the Spanish moss. All the way around. Then I'll wrap those lights around that. And it looks pretty good like that, but it needed just a little something else, a little more of a different element, color, whatever. So I put in these plaid tiny pumpkins because I didn't know what else I was going to use them for anyway. And I think they look cute. Last thing to do is turn on those lights and put the cover on. And I put it right on top of that book stack. Spooky. Now for DIY number 3. This is the reason I wanted to do Addams Family, because I've been wanting to do one of these tomato cage cousin it things for a couple of years now. All you need is tomato cage and a few packages of the hula skirts from Dollar Tree. And yes, that's my feet. I thought it would be a good idea to get my daughter to film with her iPhone, that it would come out better, since the kitchen's kind of giving me dark pictures on this today. But no, it didn't turn out better. But anyway, I appreciate her help. And there is how Cousin It turned out. Just tying those hula skirts around. DIY number 4. I needed something to put my little apothecary bottles on, and I thought, why not a tiered tray? This cost me a total of 75 cents because I paid 25 cents for each of those chair legs and 25 cents for all 3 of those plates. So, yeah, I thought they would probably screw together, but the plate hole was a little bit too small, so I had to glue it together. That's alright. It's all going to work out just fine. Now I'm going to glue some little feet on, which is just these little squarish kind of beads that I had in my stash. They came out of a mind bender game from Dollar Tree. I just didn't want the plate sitting flat on the table. So I liked them so much I ended up putting 8 of those on. And my hot glue is brown because I left it turned on for a whole week without using it. It's a wonder it didn't burn the house down. But anyway, that tiered tray worked out great. Just the perfect size for those little apothecary bottles. Now, I need to remind you there's a playlist linked in the descriptions. But before all that, here is a last look at what I've done today on the coffee bar, and it is not by any means finished. I've got some more Halloween-y things to create for the coffee bar. And in the past, we've always done cartoony, like The Nightmare Before Christmas. Cartoony stuff. My daughter's older now, and she wanted more gory stuff, so here we go with bones and such. Anyway, there's my pickled eyeballs on top of the apothecary bottles. And I've used some of that Dollar Tree garden fencing on top over the shelves. Got some beakers with some tiny skulls in there and some moss. But yeah, see, I'm not finished. There's probably some things on there that I'll take away as I add other things. But it's a start, and I would love it if you would stick around so you see how I finish it. There's another look at Cousin It. I've got her the witch's cauldron underneath the table. Granny Frump is the witch's name in Addams Family. I forgot to tell you that. This is going to be Granny Frump's apothecary. Anyway, I'm going to put something in the bird cage as well. So, yeah. Again, that is just the start of my coffee bar. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the playlist. Until next time, bye-bye.